basis, then we are able to generate products at a competitive market price.
Right.
Now that there is a challenge on interest rates, most of the organizations have deployed some tools that, number one, enhances the more efficiency of the resources that they have. You will find organizations deploying some of the Japanese technologies. We have Kaizen, for example, which is a small incremental continuous improvement that seeks to make organizations get more value from the same level of input.
Right.
Another way has been that a lot of manufacturers have had to bear the increasing prices by reducing on their margins. You notice most of the organizations now in manufacturing are literally working on a very, very scaled down level of margin.
Right.
And thus the productivity is being maintained at the same level, yes, but then the effort doesn't correlate with the margins. However, as manufacturers, we are saying, as Daktari has promised here, that this is a temporary hiccup, that we will soon come out of it, and then we will be able then to recover in terms of the margins that the shareholders are expecting and the investment that we want to do and make a vibrant economy out of manufacturing.
Right. Engineer Chris, I'm glad you mentioned Kaizen, because constant improvement should not only be used in manufacturing, it should be used in everything that we do. And speaking of constant improvement, let's play the very last clip, the fourth clip.
Strong evidence to show that economic recovery is with us. And that starts from the last quarter of 2023. And I did actually try to mention in area meetings that we have a growth of 5.6% in that quarter. It means that it averages the growth in the whole of 2023 to about 5.5 to 5.6.
That is the Cabinet Secretary for Treasury, Njuguna Ndungu, Professor Njuguna Ndungu, who is talking about the state of the economy and the projected growth. He is talking about 5.6%. Of course, this projection is good news to a lot of manufacturers. But as we have said earlier, there is, of course, the trifecta effect. Everything affects everything. Dr. Habil, what are your sentiments on the professor's sentiments?
I think Professor is right in the sense that from the trend we have set, I think the projections are looking good. However, it's dependent on a number of other factors. You know, it's interesting because it's like a chess game where your actions depend on the actions of others. So like, for example, if the US was struggling with inflation and therefore they decide to increase their Fed rate, you know that affects our economy.
Right.
In the sense that funds then flow from these, emerging economies into the US. And what happens? Our shilling starts depreciating. And so what will happen? The local authorities will then make a move to counter that. So what will happen then? They will also start tightening, which means they start increasing the interest rates in order to redirect the funds flow back into the economy. And that affects a number of other variables. So the growth will be affected by such moves. And therefore, that's why I'm saying that according to the trend that has been set, it looks achievable, but a lot depends on other factors.
Right. And of course, this growth projection, 5.6%, is, marginally speaking, it's going to be really good, especially for the economy and for manufacturers. For the manufacturing sector, Engineer Chris, do you feel that, there is a light that is coming to you? Do you feel the hope that the professor, the cabinet secretary, is projecting?
True. There is a lot of green light at the end of the tunnel, considering, number one, the happenings of the last few days, where there has been, a sharp improvement or strengthening of the Kenya currency against the dollar. And therefore, it gives us the assurance that, yes, even the plans that we had started maybe to lose confidence about engaging in, obviously that confidence then is very important. Secondly is, as you've pointed out, there is the economic growth. There is the way economy behaves. So that if one sector of the economy thrives, it definitely makes the other sector of the economy as well to grow.